what you do. It's not about being a Navy SEAL, people. The best at what you do, you have to be unbalanced to find every bit of energy and strength that you have to pull it off. Then you get balanced once you become great.
What you did back there was learn the lessons to get you to where you are at this particular moment right here. But what God got for you, do you know, man, that you can actually mess your life completely up? You can jack it all the way up and you can turn around and get it right. Do you understand that? Do you understand that you could have had a baby out of wedlock and still be all right? Do you know that you can be divorced multiple times and still be okay? Do you understand that you cannot have a degree and still be just fine? You wanna know how I know? Because I'm telling you what I know. I lost everything twice. I don't know if you've ever lost everything before, but I've been bottomed out twice. I done seen rock bottom 2 times. I've been through some walls up in here, man. I'm just trying to tell you, man, God is really with you.
Your journey is not over. I can't fight him. He has all my weapons. I have nothing. When you began your journey, you were determined. Nothing could stop you. And now that you are so close, are you willing to give up so easily? It was easier at the beginning. Beginnings are often easier. But think of all that you have accomplished along your journey.
When you get to, you got to be willing to work hours and sleep 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you're going to have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want it.
It doesn't matter where you are in life. It really doesn't. Because the great thing about life is it's always your next move. Your next move that counts. No matter where you are. You could be, look, I was dead broke, my electric bill was being shut off. And there were people even like worse off than I was. It doesn't matter. You could change your life if you want to. It's always your next decision. So it's up to you.
I don't want to live in a hole anymore. It makes me feel poor.
We are poor, but we're happy.
Come see, come sa. Anyway, the views are better above ground. Honey, I'm 7 non-Fox years old now. My father died at 7.5. I don't want to live in a hole anymore. And I'm going to do something about it.
After we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up, or somebody say, you can count on me, and they don't come through. What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day, and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
What's the point of fighting my way up the mountain when someone else is just going to come up the easy way? There is always going to be someone who does things the easy way. But that should not stop you from doing things the right way. It is your journey, young warrior. Only you decide when it ends.
Look, I'd love to sugarcoat this thing for you. I'd love to tell you, look, you can go out here and get rich, do a couple of things. That ain't happening. You got to get real doggish. You got to get downright funky if you want to make it. Now, like I was telling you before, if you want to be ordinary, you ain't even got to listen to me. Just go on about your business. If you think ordinary's cool, ain't no problem. It's some really, really wonderful ordinary people. But if you are sitting in this room and you have extraordinary aspirations, then you're going to have to do extra. You put extra on top of ordinary and you come up with extraordinary. It's no other way. You have to decide if you are willing to do the things to put you in that category. Rich people don't sleep 8 hours a day. That's a third of your life. It ain't but 24 hours in a day. You cannot be sleep 8 hours a day. You can't live in LA and wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's 11 o'clock on the East Coast. The stock market been open 2 hours. They already making decisions about your life and your ass was asleep.
No matter how much emotion and feeling you may have or how much hurt you may have, life has to go on. Life doesn't stop for anybody. So if you don't process that and understand that, you're stuck in whatever time period you got hurt forever. So grudges and anger and negativity, I don't have time for it because I'm living to do so much positive thing.
Right.
I can't stand in the past and bathe in what was wrong.
I didn't make the right choices.
You always make the right choices.
Yeah.
You always make the right choices. They may not be the choices you prefer, but if you make it, it's the right choice. If you use it that way, you will get the effect from it that it was the choice you needed to make. That means then you can make other choices that you prefer. But don't discount the choices you have made, otherwise you can't make new choices. You cannot get where you wish to go if you invalidate the stepping stones that brought you to where you are. You understand?
Yes, I do.
Because if you invalidate those stepping stones, there's nowhere for you to walk.
So the moment I decide to move forward in any direction, it's always the right decision.
Of course, even if it's a direction you don't prefer. It was the right decision because perhaps you needed to find out that that was a direction you don't prefer. Remember, sometimes people on your planet have an easier time identifying what they do prefer by first experiencing what they don't, so that what they do prefer is clearer by contrast. If you use what you don't prefer that way in a positive context, it will be easier for you to identify what you do prefer, and then you won't have to spend so much time experiencing what you don't. But first you have to use what you don't prefer in a positive way as if you preferred it. That's the paradox.
It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great.
You need to just keep living. Listen to the pain. It's both history teacher and fortune teller. Pain teaches us who we are, Wade. Sometimes it's so bad we feel like we're dying. But we can't really live till we die a little, can we?
People don't get it. There's great joy in the grind. Great joy in the suffer. It totally cleanses your body out, man, of any kind of hate. Makes you grow up.
What I want to invite you to do, what I want you to consider is...
I'm 33 and I've dedicated my whole life to this. I had no youth life. I had no teenage life. I had no young adult life, because guess what? While all my friends and people who I knew were out drinking and partying and enjoying life, what was I doing? Running 10 miles down the road in rain? Or killing myself in a boxing gym? And then people say to me, you know what, you're lucky. You're a lucky man, you are. I'm lucky because I fucking worked all the hours that God gave me. I'm lucky because I pushed it further than everybody else would dare to do. I'm lucky because I've trained so hard that I can't be beaten. That's a lucky man. I don't think so. I'm more lucky and blessed. Blessed to have that determination, that drive. And it's not for success. It's just to be happy today, tomorrow, and the next day. But most importantly, be happy today. Because you know, tomorrow ain't promised to nobody. As we all know quite clearly, tomorrow is no certain gift at all. But today we have.
Well, where do you go to? You wake up in the morning, it's cold, it's wet, it's dark, you've got no cartilage in your knee, you've got shorts, whatever it is that's the issue today.
Keep talking.
You've got these problems, right?
I need you to keep talking about what you were just saying.
It's warm on the couch. Your missus says stay in bed. It's comfy. It's cozy. You've got work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly hungover.
God, every motherfucker.
I'm gonna fucking do it, baby.
I know what I have to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it.
The biggest mistake any ever make is getting too comfortable, kicking their feet up, taking them off victory lap. Cause you ain't never safe. Somebody always out there, watching.
Like, there's people out there that are just working harder than everybody else, and they're gonna keep doing it.
Not you. You're too cold.
Yeah, because I think that emotions most of the time doesn't help us to deal with something.
Dedication, hard work. Dedication, hard work. On one man army. One man army. The world can go against me. I'm still coming on top.
It's not that you don't know what to do, it's that you can't fucking do it when it's not comfortable for you to do. And that's why people lose.
You know who goes the furthest? The ones who value consistency
over perfection.
Because we forget we are in control of our mind. We put in our minds what we should do.
At the end of the day, you've got to feel some way. So why not feel unbeatable? Why not feel untouchable? Why not feel like the best to ever do it?
When you have something in life that you want to accomplish greatly, you have to be willing to give up your happiness.
You know, you're going to have some haters. What's the best way to silence haters? Be undeniable.
A focused fool can accomplish more than a distracted genius. If you think about yourself as the sun, and you need to burn through a hole through a piece of paper, like that's what you have to get through. A sun has more than enough power to burn through it. But if the sun is evenly spread, it just warms up the paper, but it doesn't even break through. And so many of you have suns and suns worth of energy, but you're so spread thin that all you do is warm your stuff up. You never break through. And you would be amazed at how much more you can accomplish when you only have one thing to do.
You will never stay up at night staring at the ceiling, losing sleep over the failures. You'll never lose sleep over the failures. The shit that eats you from the inside out, the shit that'll keep you up at night is the what if. Do you understand that in 100 fucking years, not a single person that you know that has an opinion on you, every single opinion about you dies in 100 fucking years. Every single thought, idea, everything, every person you have ever met will be 6 feet under, and so will you. So why are you taking it so seriously? Why don't you just live your existence for you? Do things that make you happy. We're playing a game and it comes to an end and nobody comes out alive, and so why not just live it to the fullest? Why not take every single risk that you can take? Why not do everything that you know you're meant to do? I heard a quote one time. Everybody has 2 lives. And the second one starts when you realize you only have one.
You don't need enemies. Compete against you. Once you compete against you, you're going to always win. Because you're trying to get better every day. So you in competition all the time. Them enemies over there take you off your course. Now you start thinking like them. You start doing goofy shit like them, and now you're not you. As long as you remain you, and you competing with you every day, you're going to get better. You're going to get great. You're going to master you.
It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life but also want to fit in and be normal. Like, by being normal, you are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results.
It's 1 a.m. I'm going for my 3rd workout. Do I want to go to the gym? Absolutely not. I'd rather, lay in my house and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. But, to be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
Losers wing it through life. Winners leave nothing to chance. Because as a winner, you're already going to experience hardship, failures, or rejection. But by game planning it out, structuring it out, creating a formula or process, at least you have some framework to follow. But if you're just gonna wing it through life, that's what losers do. Losers think that they still have more time to get there. Losers measure themselves by the losers that they surround themselves with.
Number 1, don't run away. And number 2, be honest to yourself. Those 2 things, you should keep them in mind, and then just put time, effort into practice. I think is the key to step by step build something up about yourself, about your life, about your character and personality that will give you some strong fundament in order to tackle everything that this world is going to throw at you.
If you have something in your heart, go for it, chase it, give it all you got, and find out where it takes you. The opportunity right now to chase your dreams, you only got one life. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You're right back where you started. Chase those dreams, man. I try to tell that to every kid I ever meet. Chase your dreams. Nothing's too crazy. You believe it, make them believe it.
We're really quick to forget that the day we're living today is a day we dreamed of 10 years ago. But there's a part of your life that is exactly the life that you wanted. And when you forget that, you lose out on recognizing you're already living in the dream and that you already have the power to create that future dream because you've already done it once.
Knock me down 19 times, I'ma get up 20. Tell me I can't do something, I'ma make it my mission to show you I can. I'ma fail, but I won't quit. I'ma lose, but eventually I will win. I'm insane when it comes to becoming the best version of myself.
Only live once, so do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big.
The latest research in neuroscience says you can change your brain just by thinking. So then as you begin to think about a new possibility and your brain begins to fire in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, and you begin to plan your behaviors, and you begin to review in your mind, mentally rehearse who you're going to be in your life. Now your brain is no longer a record of the past. Now it's in fact a map to the future.
You have to build yourself into someone who is resilient enough and mentally tough enough and has the fortitude and the grit and the belief and all of the things required to push through these difficult times that most people aren't even willing to go through. There is nobody that you look up to that became that person without a tremendous amount of hardship. There's nobody that you look up to that became a successful, inspiration to you without going through a lot of pain. When you think of the stories and the people that inspire you, the reason they inspire you is because what they went through to get where they are, not because of just where they are.
Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer them, scream their names, and years later they'll tell how they stood in the rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who taught him to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally allows us to die with pride, even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want the most. Even our dreams.
Confidence isn't about everything going right. It's about trusting your ability to bounce back stronger. You've made it through every hard thing so far, so don't doubt your ability now. Confidence is a skill that you build one decision at a time, and it starts with trying. You try, you learn, you get better, you become more competent, and over time, confidence shows up easier because you earned it through action. The biggest breakthroughs happen when you're done. Done with shrinking, done with waiting, done with the version of you that plays small.
In the endless murmur of judgment, true peace is born not from seeking approval, but from mastering the quiet art of walking alone, unwavering toward your own truth.
Awakening is the answer to all of the world's problems on every level. All of the world's problems stem from a delusion, the fundamental delusion of the mind. And that delusion is that I am this limited character.
When we're living from a small separate self, there's always some kind of perpetual dissatisfaction. So this can be big dissatisfaction like trauma, or it can be just this background feeling, something's not right, something's wrong, I'm missing something, I'm even when I have some pleasure, even when I achieve something in the world, even when I have a good relationship, if I just have a pause or a moment, there's this dissatisfied feeling like I'm isolated or cut off from something. So this feeling, which it seems like most people have, can motivate us to awaken from that small separate self whose nature is a kind of separation anxiety.
This limited character has a tendency to grasp for what it wants. It's just a collection of conditioned patterns of craving what it wants or trying to push away what it doesn't want. It's this endless process of, you could say, a pleasure principle, going after pleasure, avoiding pain. And if we believe we are this character, this conditioned pattern, then we suffer and we create suffering in the world. The world becomes a reflection of that egoic consciousness. The benefit of awakening is that you suffer less and the people around you suffer less.
There's no doubt in my mind that my initial connection with my understanding of God was an awakening for me in my life, the biggest awakening that I've ever experienced. It was very much as if I had been asleep really for 50 years, walking around like a robot, just doing the things that I was taught to do from the time I was a young man. I had the whole formula down. Get the girl, get the car, get the job, get the house, get the spouse. A formula that I really thought was how life was supposed to work, until I got to be around 53 years old, and I realized that while I had done most of those things and had become professionally successful to a degree, then I realized that none of it mattered. I woke up somewhere around the age of 53 realizing none of this matters. None of this means anything. I was shocked to find how little it really meant, how pointless it all was.
Was it a play that you could have made? Is it a moment that you could have done something different? Had you put in one more rep? Had you been a little bit stronger? Did you get overpowered by someone? Did you underestimate the opponent? Why did you lose?
Every morning, every day of our lives, we have choices to make. You have the choice to stay in bed, to say, forget it, I'm not going to work out today, or forget it, I'm not going to...
It's raining, I'm not gonna run today.
You always have a choice every single day of your life, so
Let's go.
make the right decision.
You were born to do something great with your life. You're supposed to do something special, and you're gonna. I can promise you that you have all the potential in the world within you. And I know the rest of the world is probably telling you constantly to be average, to be ordinary. There's different haters you have in your life. There's people who put you in your box. There's people who overlook you, that make you feel invisible. You're not even who you've already been in your life. Your past does not equal your future. Your present does not equal your future. And I just want to remind you officially that you can do something great with your life, and that you're destined to do something great with your life, and that you were born for a reason. It's so important that you know that you hear that from me today, and that you begin to believe it about yourself, because if
When you stop following the script that has been laid out for your character, the one inherited from parents, society, and biological conditioning, then new dimensions open up within the game. The path opens up. But it is not a path to reach some destination. It is a pathless path, a stripping away of illusion to arrive exactly where you are in the now. My name is Rupert Spira. I speak about the essential non-dual understanding that underlies all the great religious and spiritual traditions. And I write and lead guided meditations and have conversations whose purpose is to lead to an experiential recognition of this understanding. Understand that the peace and the happiness for which we all long above all else can never, by definition, be found in objective experience. It can never be provided by objects, substances, activities, and relationships. I would suggest understanding that clearly and not spending the rest of one's life seeking fulfillment where it cannot be found. Anyone who is watching this movie is doing so precisely because they have either understood or at least intuited that the peace and happiness for which they long cannot be found in objective experience and have begun this investigation into their true nature. That is the most important investigation one can make, and it is the investigation upon which depends our happiness.
The biggest question of my life, of course, which I believe is the question most people look at sooner or later, is what is the point actually? What is the point of life? And much to my surprise, I was told that the point of life had nothing to do with anything that I was doing. It wasn't about my job. It wasn't about my career. It wasn't about hardly anything in my physical life. Those were aspects of my life, but they were not the point of my life. The point of my life, as I have come to understand it, was for me to experience, express, demonstrate, and fulfill my true identity, who I really am. I think that the biggest question that most people face is a question that hardly anyone ever asks themselves or ever answers. The biggest question of life, in my understanding, is who am I? Who am I? Am I simply a physical entity, like a bird in the sky or a fish in the sea? You know, perhaps more sophisticated, but just a physical entity. I'm born, I live, I die. That's the beginning and the end of it. Or is it possible, just possible, that I'm more than that? Is it possible that I'm a spiritual entity, simply having a physical experience?
Every experience in your life has brought you to this one universal question. Who are you? Don't look for an answer with the mind. Let everything be exactly as it is. Who is aware of the mind? Feel everything that comes up. Who is aware of those feelings?